ladies and gentlemen, we are live on the stream here, and I'm helping you set your lineups. So, ask any questions you have. We'll do this for about an hour, and I'm just going to have my lineup here, and I'm going to set mine as well. Set my lineups. You can kind of see my thought process behind setting my lineups, and you can tell me if maybe I'm starting somebody that you wouldn't start. You can give me the lowdown. First, I want to be able to share this, though, on some of the social media, so I got to pull this up right quick and get the... There we go. I want to share this on my Twitter real quick. So while I'm doing that, if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat. Let's see. Live. There we go. Did you take a peek at Ryan's team? Let me see Ryan's team. Let's see it. Yes. AK, ask me, go ahead and ask me again. I redid all my rankings here. And I have my rankings. Where are my rankings? I have them pulled up here. Okay. Yeah, so I have my rankings. So go ahead and ask. What was the question again? It was Amari Cooper and who else? Get this pulled up here too. All right, so Amari Cooper, Tyler Lockett, Julio Jones, AB. Okay, so yes, so I would go currently this is my updated rankings. And once again, just make sure check in for the live show tonight because I've spent the morning doing this, but they're definitely subject to change one last time before I post them over on Patreon. But right now, I currently have Julio Jones for me as an absolute must start. He's the top 10 guy for me this week. So I have Julio, and then the next guy I believe would be Amari Cooper. He is outside my top 20. Amari Cooper is currently wide receiver 20. Let me just double check. So that was Tyler Lockett. Oh, wait, actually, it might be Tyler Lockett. No, it is Tyler Lockett, I think. Yeah, Tyler Lockett is wide receiver 21 for me currently. So it would be, I would go Julio Jones and Tyler Lockett. I currently have Amari Cooper as wide receiver 23. I actually have CD ranked higher than him. And we'll see what happens. Tonight is going to be very telling. Same pool of wide receivers, but also, so just two of them. Yeah, and then with Saquon and Mostert, that looks good. Saquon, well, Mostert's going to have a really good week. Saquon is going to be interesting to see what exactly happens this week. So let's check out Ryan's team here. Ryan's team. Oh, look at that. He's got Raheem Mostert. Oh, look at that Mike Davis, though. Yuck. Ugh. I really don't like Mike Davis this week. I just updated all my rankings, and I currently have Mike Davis. I have him 28th. Which is really low. I was looking at like the industry rankings after I was doing mine, and I was like, man, I'm pretty low on Mike Davis. But I really do think that Wayne Gallman's going to be a bigger issue for Mike Davis's fantasy production than a lot of people want to admit. He's definitely going to be involved in this offense. All right, so this is, I'll go ahead and show my team now. This is one of my leagues here. So I got the Dak Street Boys, got Dak Prescott. I really like both my wide receivers this upcoming week. I love them. I love Adam Thielen and Cooper Kupp. I really like Cooper Kupp this upcoming week. Aaron Jones, I don't know. I have him as like RB. I think I have him as RB6 or something, 7 maybe. I think I moved him down from my original rankings. He's 7. I did have him at 6. So would you start Mostert over Cooper / Sway or Saquon? I would start Saquon, but I would start Raheem Mostert over Amari Cooper. Yes, I would do that. I think Cooper's going to have a really good week this upcoming week. He gets a terrible Detroit team that was awful last year against the run, and he should have a really good week. Did I post that? Did I ever post that? I don't think I posted that, huh? No, okay, I did. Yeah. Okay. I had to make sure. Okay, so I would definitely go. Yeah, I would go Mostert over Amari Cooper, and then who is your other wide receiver that you're starting then? If you have Tyler Lockett, or if you have Julio Jones, who are you going other than Julio Jones? Do you have a wide receiver one that you're starting automatically? AK. And so my team here looks, man, I like my team a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I like Deandre Swift. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna have that good of a week this week. But I do think that he'll be solid for PPR. But I do like the rest of my team though. It's pretty good. What's up, man? Would you start? How you doing? Would you start OBJ or Chark and flex in standard scoring league? I would start OBJ. I currently have OBJ ranked higher than Chark. Starting Julio plus Lockett. No, yeah, okay, yeah. So that's solid. I would go Julio, and then I would go Mostert over Cooper. Certainly. Can you rate my 10-team PPR? Yeah, go ahead. Do you have it right now? I'll rate it now. That leaves the flex for me between. Yeah, I would go Raheem Mostert. I would go Mostert in the flex. That's what I would do. I like. It's not that I don't like Amari Cooper tonight. There's just a lot of receivers that I really do like, though. Honestly, there's a lot of receivers that I like for this week. Guys like Brandon Ayuk, Adam Thielen. It's not that I don't like Tyler Lockett. His matchup's like average. But guys like Cooper Kupp, I like his matchup. DJ Moore, Robert Woods, Chris Godwin. There's a lot of guys that I like. So it's not that I don't like Amari Cooper. It's just there's a lot of other wide receivers that have better matchups, and his pretty tough matchup. But I absolutely love Amari Cooper for season long. I found your YouTube videos just a few days ago, and I've been watching your videos. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for watching the videos. I appreciate it. Also asked yesterday, but I'm so indecisive and still staring at the trade request. I have AB. I have AB. Buddy sent me a trade request for Davis. Okay, so 1-on-1, just those two guys. Keep going back and forth. So you have AB. That is pretty tough because I think Corey Davis is going to be a really good player early on in the season, and then Elijah Moore, I believe, is just going to end up taking this wide receiver one job, and Elijah Moore is going to be a really good guy. But in the off chance that doesn't happen, I'd probably go Corey Davis because he could probably be the wide receiver one for this team the whole season. Listen, it's not that I don't like I see a lot of people that are really high on AB, and it's not that I don't like Antonio Brown. It's just that last year, if you take out that last game of the season against Atlanta, and I hate to say take out this game, but you have Mike Evans get hurt in the first quarter. Like Antonio Brown before that point was averaging wide receiver 40 numbers. Like he wasn't that good, and his ADOT was really low, and then he has that blow up game against Atlanta, and now he's good. So I'd rather go Corey Davis personally. Jaden, you got the over under on the Steelers game 48.5. Is it 48.5? A lot of them are 40, right around 48 this weekend. So would I go over or under that? I'd probably go under, honestly. I think it's going to be Pittsburgh. I think the Steelers are going to lose week 1, to be honest with you, as a Steelers fan. And I think they're going to struggle a little bit. For this offensive, especially with this offensive line, I think it's going to take them a little bit to really get things going. I think this offense is going to struggle a little bit. And I also do think that Pittsburgh's defense is good enough, especially now that TJ Watt's practicing. As long as he plays, it looks like he's going to play in this game, though. But as long as he plays, they'll be able to slow down Josh Allen a little bit. I envision it kind of like last year where second half is kind of when Buffalo will start to pull away. But I would go under 48.5 personally. I really hope Austin Eckler plays this Sunday. Last year I had Sanders and he got hurt before playing the Washington football team. And this year I have Eckler and he gets injured. That is bad luck. I do think he'll play though. Today will be really telling, but the fact that he tweeted out something before the injury report that he was excited to showcase himself and all that kind of stuff, I think he'll play. It is, I don't like that he already is missing time though with a hamstring injury. AJ Brown did miss practice. Yesterday, they said that it was a rest day for him, and which is understandable because he just had I guess this offseason he had that knee surgeries, but still, like, I don't want to see Austin Eckler, a guy that had the issue with the hamstring last year and a soft tissue injury, already missed practice. That's not good. Maybe he won't cancel the trade request and I can just accept after. Hey, there you go. Good thinking. Start one in the flex, and this is from Charlie. What's up, Charlie? Start one in the flex and wide receiver spot over AB, Terence Marshall, Logan Thomas, Hardman, Davis. Which Davis is this? Is this Corey Davis or Mike Davis? I'm assuming Mike Davis and Sanders. Who is that? Is that Emmanuel Sanders or Miles Sanders? Let me know. I would definitely start AB over all those guys. And then if, depending on who the Sanders are, is Sanders Miles Sanders or Davis? It would depend on the Davis and Sanders. Let me know, Mike Davis or Chark. Let me know down, hey, Charlie, let me know if that's Mike Davis, Corey Davis, and then Emmanuel Sanders, or is that Miles Sanders? Let me know down below. Do you have any bold predictions for tonight? Mine is that Brady plus Gar click that 100. Hey, that could definitely happen. Me personally, this is my bold take for the night, and maybe it's not that bold, but looking at his, I forget what his, I'm going to go look at this real quick. What the player prop is. What is Ronald Jones' player prop? The last I saw was like in the 40s. I think Ronald Jones goes for over 100. That's what I'm going to say. Tonight's game. Let's see. What is his player prop? Oh, am I looking at Dallas? They have both Tampa Bay on here. Yeah, they have Tampa Bay. Oh, I have to go to the next. So let's see. We have, where's Ronald Jones right there? Well, oh, that's receiving yards. Do they not have rushing yards? Rushing, receiving. Oh, that's total. Yeah, I would definitely, this is what I would definitely hit. I would hit the over on this 100%. Ronald Jones, if that's what it is, 57.5, absolutely smash the over on that. Ronald Jones is going to go off tonight for rushing. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it. Ronald Jones is going to be a top 20 back this week with his rushing ability tonight. So let's see. Robbie Anderson or Henderson, full point PPR. Let me see where I have Henderson and these two guys ranked. I'm pretty sure I would go Henderson, though. Yes, I would go Darrell Henderson. Darrell Henderson, I would go, who is that? Jaden, Darrell Henderson. And then Sanjeev, I probably mispronounced your name wrong, and I'm totally sorry if I did. So we got Kyler Murray, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Mike Davis, Dylan, David Johnson, Allen Robinson, Robert Woods, Chenault, DJ Chark. Then we have Hawkinson, yes, and defense kicker. So what I would give that team, I would give that team a solid. Honestly, I could probably give that team an A. That's a really good team. Yeah, that's a really good team. Good job. The only one that I would maybe, I really like Mike Gesicki, but I would just automatically start TJ Hawkinson every single week. Let's see, Mike Davis or Chark, Chenault. I would go Mike Davis. I would go Mike Davis in that situation. A lot of people are hyping up the Buccaneers defense. They're very good, but fantasy-wise, I don't understand why they're being top-rated like the Chiefs. I imagine a lot of shootouts. How do you feel? The Bucs defense is much better than the Chiefs, though. The Bucs defense is really good. Like, they have a lot of good players. Their cornerbacks last year took a really big step forward. But I think a team like Washington football team, I think that's probably, they could have the best defense in the NFL this year. So I don't think that they should be the top-rated defense, certainly, but they're definitely up there as one of the best defenses. My bad, Emmanuel and Gabriel. Oh, Gabe Davis. Oh, okay. Let me look at this then. Who is that, Charlie? Yeah, so I got to go back up to Charlie's question real quick. Where was Charlie's at? So that's start one in the flex and in wide receiver spot. Okay, so over AB. So I wouldn't start any of those over AB. Like, I would start AB, is that... But if I had to start one over AB, what I would do is, I mean, I definitely wouldn't start any over AB. Just really the flex spot would be what I would be looking at, and I would go Fournette in the flex. Actually, I would go Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas in the flex, personally. Let's see. We got Where am I at here? A lot of people. Oh, okay. I got that one. Let me see. When should I play AJ Dillon? When Aaron Jones is out. Yeah. No, I think that AJ Dillon will be viable. I really want to see how this backfield looks like week 1. I do think that AJ Dillon, though, AJ Dillon is a good football player. And I'm excited to see him in this offense and kind of take on like the old Jamal Williams role. But I do think that, so this is what I'm projecting for the Packers backfield this upcoming season. I think Aaron Jones is still going to have his role. They might take down his carries a little bit, but give him more receiving work, more the passing role that's being left from Williams a little bit to make up for that. And then AJ Dillon will have more of a rushing role for this offense. But I still think Aaron Jones will be this team's goal line back is what I project. And I think AJ Dillon will be viable against like Detroit. Detroit. Who else is in that division? You have Minnesota, and who's the last team? I can't think of it right now. Chicago. But I definitely think that he'll be viable. It depends on the schedule. I'd have to look at the schedule though to really see. But I do think that he'll be like a viable flex some weeks for sure. As an Eagles fan, the Washington football team is being overlooked. Agree that he could be the best in the NFL. And once again, somebody told me this. I believe they have Kendall Fuller. I think it's Kendall Fuller, and then they have William Jackson. They got both these guys in the offseason. These are two, especially William Jackson last year was a top 20. I believe he was like cornerback, I don't know, like 18 or something by Pro Football Focus in coverage. He was actually really, really solid last year in coverage. So I do think the Washington football team could be really good this upcoming season. Also, another defense that I think could be really good as well is the Denver Broncos. I think their defense could be really solid. What do you think about Tampa Bay backfield this year? I drafted him and thought it was a steal. He's listed as a starter on some sites. Who's that, Charlie? Are you talking about Fournette? Or me personally, I think Ronald Jones will be the starter. 100%. Like, I'm a big Ronald Jones guy. I think, Ronald Jones is better. Yes, Leonard Fournette was better down the stretch in the Super Bowl, but Ronald Jones at that point, I believe he was dealing with a groin injury and then also maybe a hamstring or something. He was dealing with 2 soft tissue injuries that I think he even missed one of the playoff games, or he missed week 17 or something. I know he missed one of those games. Me personally, I like Ronald Jones a lot more than Leonard Fournette. Me personally, that's just my take. So any other questions? Drop them down. Well, drop them in the chat. I guess that's not down below. That's to the side. So go ahead and ask any questions you have. I do want to say though, real quick, I have my homie Ryan here, Ryan from Aspire Sports. He actually was supposed to have a video out today, but it looks like the video didn't save for some reason. So he's big on the betting. So we're going to have all the bets tonight. I'm going to take another look at this and really have all my bets finalized, some bets that I really like. He does a parlay for the people. One thing that we'll talk about it later tonight, but real quick, I want to look at these questions. Gaskin or Montgomery? I believe I currently have, let me just double check this. I'm pretty sure I have, where's David Montgomery right there? I would go Myles Gaskin, honestly. I like Myles Gaskin this week. And David Montgomery has an absolute brutal matchup against the Los Angeles Rams. And Damian Williams, I believe, is going to be more involved in this backfield than a lot of people want to admit. Let's go. What do you think about the Pats D also? I think the Pats defense will be solid, especially week 1. I think that they'll be good. I don't think that they're going to be one of the best defenses in the NFL. I think there's other better defenses, but they're really well coached. Laviscus or Claypool? I have Claypool currently higher. Van Noy addition, though. Judon. Who are you saying? Who does Van Noy play for right now? I gotta look this up now. He played for the who did he play for? Oh, so he's back with the Patriots now? Didn't he play for the Patriots? And then he went to what, Miami? Or is he with Miami now? He was with the Patriots and then he left. And then he came back. Patriots re-signed him. Gotcha. Pick 2 for the flex. Chase, Pittman. No, I mean that defense should be solid. I mean it, and like I said, they're really good, really well coached as well. So, and also I want to say just thank you to everybody that's here right now, and make sure tonight we'll be live before the game. I believe I don't know what time we made the stream for. I don't know if it's 6:45 or what. But I'll double check that for you. I don't know if it's 6:45 or what time we'll be live tonight, but we will be live. The bad Miami came back. Yeah, and that's kind of what happens with some of these Bill Belichick players at times. They don't do well other places, but they do well in the system of the New England Patriots because they're really well coached. Let's see here. No, I didn't answer that one. What's up, Seth? Pick 2 for flex. We got Chase, Pittman, Fournette, Gesicki. If Fournette, should I put him in at running back in case Eckler doesn't go? I can always put Eckler back in the flex spot. You should know. I think we should know tonight what Eckler's status is going to be. If he practices today in any form, if it's at least limited, obviously a full practice would be great. Now, if he does not practice tonight, then it is concerning. Now we're getting to the point where this is concerning, because usually Wednesdays are kind of like a vet day, and yeah, he can take that day off. So that's why when I made the video, I wasn't like overly concerned about this, but if he does not practice today, this becomes a big concern, and I would definitely put him in your flex 100%. If you don't have any other better running backs, then yeah, I would put Leonard Fournette in your running back spot. And then pick 2 for the flex, and the other one I would say Chase and Pittman. If Fournette, or if Eckler practices today, I would go Chase and Pittman. But if he does not practice today, put him in the flex and put Fournette as your RB2. What would you have done, or what did you have for breakfast, and what is your favorite meal? I'm eating. What did I have for breakfast? A couple of eggs with some. I love red pepper flakes. So I had some red pepper flakes on them, and my favorite meal, are we talking like a home cooked meal? Because if it's a home cooked meal, I would probably have to say I smoke meat. So like my the pork shoulder that I do, that's beautiful. But if I'm like ordering out, I mean, you can't go wrong with pizza. I absolutely love pizza and chicken wings. Let's see. He's the linebacker core leader. The Patriots, Dolphins, they released him, re-signed him. He did bad. Miami came back. If you had the second pick, CMC is off the board. Who do you pick? Dalvin Cook, Kamara? I would go Dalvin Cook 100%. I do think that Alvin Kamara is definitely in the discussion, though. 100%. I would go Dalvin Cook personally, but I do think that Alvin Kamara definitely deserves to be in the conversation, especially with Jameis Winston as the quarterback. And if this is full point PPR, then I would probably go Alvin Kamara at the second pick if it's full point PPR. Do you think that Amari Cooper is being overdrafted with CD probably set up to be top 10 wide receiver? No, I actually think it's the opposite, Charlie. I think that CD Lamb is being overdrafted when Amari Cooper is still going to be a big part of this offense. And where Amari Cooper is currently going, I think he was going as like wide receiver 14 or something, or 15, like in that range. I have to look it up, but I think it's the opposite. Honestly, I think both of them are going to be top 15 wide receivers this upcoming season. At least have the possibility to. Fitzpatrick, Godwin, Woods, Kamara, Harris, Waller. Talk to me. So is Fitzpatrick the best available at quarterback? Other than that, the team looks really good. I do like the team, but Fitzpatrick at quarterback, I'm not a huge fan of, especially this week. David Montgomery, Deontay Johnson, PPR. I would go Deontay Johnson, honestly, in PPR. Got it, thanks. Sorry if it was a confusing question. No, it's just hard sometimes. Maybe I make the facial expressions like it's confusing. But like, with all the questions and everything, I just try to, and thinking on your feet sometimes is hard. And then I also have to check back at my rankings too, and just make sure that everything's right. So it's not a confusing question at all. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Got it. A, that sounds fire. No, you're fire, Charlie. Standard pick. We got Robbie Anderson, Keenan Allen, Diggs, Jerry Jeudy, Kenny G. So I got to pick 2 of those guys. Diggs and Keenan Allen. This week will be tough for Fitzpatrick. It definitely will be. And I haven't finished my quarterback rankings. I won't lie. I'm at 15. So a lot of people are in 15 or like 12 team leagues with one quarterback. So I do have to finish my quarterback rankings. That's the last thing that I have to totally finish, is especially the back end of my quarterback rankings. But honestly, I would probably put Fitzpatrick outside my top 10. I would put him outside my top 10. And honestly, tell me who's available in as a free agent, and I'll tell you if there's somebody that you should pick up. So, yes, I guess this is a good plug for the Patreon. You can find our Patreon down below, and over on our Patreon, you get all of the weekly rankings. The rankings will be up about 3 o'clock. I got to just do some finalized things. I already have like my wide receiver, running backs done. I got to just double check. I also have to get my quarterbacks fully done here. My tight ends are done. So those will be over on Patreon if you want to see them. I'll put the defense and kickers up as well if people want to see those. I'm also going to do just a flex rankings and have all like a top 100 flex rankings. That way you can have that as well. It's over on Patreon. The minimum is $1. Pay what you can. Pay what you can. Help support the show. Also, I will say this real quick, and I'll answer Seth's question, and then I got to do this quick plug. How do you feel about Saquon this week? I'm guessing it's getting too cute to put Gaskin over him. Right now, yes. We have to see. Ask me that question. We go live Sunday. 10:30. Check that out on Sunday. You can. Hey, thank you. We got Ozil there. Thanks for that advice, man. Hey, appreciate you with the what is that? $2? Hey, appreciate you. But Jonathan, who was that? Was that Jonathan that asked me that question? No, Seth. Ask me that question come Sunday. We go live on Sunday. I would like to see how Saquon's getting through practice, what the talk is from the beat reporters and the coaches, what they're saying about him. I don't think that it's cute. Right now it is cute. But if we get the word that he's not going to play a full complement of snaps and they don't want him to go over a certain threshold, then at that point I do think that Gaskin's in discussion, certainly, for over Saquon. But we have to see, once again, just double check on the Sunday show. So drafted a QB too late. Jonathan, you got to hit me up. Who are some guys that are free agents right now? Just send me a couple of the top free agents. Should I drop... And this is Charlie here. Should I drop any of my bench? Gabe Davis, Emmanuel Sanders, Hardman, and think of a potential running back committee member with Gaskin? Oh, you're saying like Malcolm Brown? I would drop AJ Green. I just don't think AJ Green's going to have a whole lot of value this upcoming season. That would be the guy that I would definitely drop. Now, Malcolm Brown. My question for you would be, is number one, is Tony Jones available? Or is a guy, I imagine right now, like Justin Jackson, he's probably not there. A guy like Wayne Gallman, I would rather have all three of those players over Malcolm Brown, though. Charlie, who I really like this year, who do you really like? You'd like Malcolm Brown? Myles Gaskin's by far the best running back in this backfield. I'm telling you that right now. The only way that Malcolm Brown's going to be relevant is if something happens to Gaskin. If you know a better option, let me know. Jonathan, tell me who's available at the quarterback position. I'll let you know. Pick up Darnold, John or Baker. Yeah, like who's John? I'm drawing a blank. It probably makes sense, but Baker definitely I would start over Fitzpatrick this upcoming week. Henderson or Montgomery this week. I got Henderson, Dominic. Thank you for being a part of the show. Thank you to everybody who's currently a part of the show. Appreciate all of you. And once again, Ozil, appreciate you, man, for the donation. Thank you. Hey, and we got Charlie with the $2. We appreciate you, Charlie. Thank you. Thank you. It means a lot. Honestly, you guys being here just means a lot. I appreciate this. And let me tell you this right now. Aspire Sports is going to the moon, okay? We're going to the moon this fantasy football season. I'm telling you that right now. So we got Breck here. Who should I start at RB2 and flex? I have DJ Moore, CEH, Miles Sanders, and Raheem Mostert. So for me, I would go CEH. And Ooh, that's really tough because these are two guys that are ranked really close for me. Is Mostert and DJ Moore. Was it PPR? Breck, tell me if this is PPR or not. If this is 0.5 PPR, full point PPR, if it's standard, tell me. And then I'll let you know because it's between DJ Moore and Mostert, but it depends on the scoring. So let me know what the scoring is. If Eckler is even limited participant, roll with confidence. I have no other options. Yeah, I would roll with confidence for sure. If Eckler is at least limited today, then yes, roll with Eckler with confidence. Now, if he doesn't practice today, if he still did not practice, that's when we're getting concerned. Okay, that's really when it's time. I don't want to say time to panic, but it's time to really be concerned. And we'll have to see how Friday goes and how he's looking in pre-warm up and the warm up. But yes, it's full PPR. So I would go DJ Moore. In full point PPR, I would go DJ Moore over Mostert. Although I hate to say sit Mostert because Mostert should have a big week this upcoming week. I do think that DJ Moore in full point PPR, we saw in preseason, he appeared to be the guy. I also just love DJ Moore. A lot of people are down on DJ Moore. Like a lot of people think Robbie Anderson is going to be the wide receiver 1 in this offense. DJ Moore is number 1, a better talent than Robbie Anderson. He's a freak of nature athletically. The guy never goes down on first contact, is so explosive. He's going to be Sam Darnold's favorite target. The only thing that has been missing in his career so far have been the touchdowns. But he's been so good. So I love DJ Moore. What do you think about Gerald Everett? This is a situation that we really have to monitor with him and Will Dissly. What does the committee look like? Is there a guy that's going to be in for the passing down snaps? Are they kind of splitting the snaps? Because in preseason, they're splitting the snaps. I do think that Gerald Everett is a better tight end than Will Dissly, especially in terms of his receiving ability. But if you're asking for week 1, I don't feel confident playing him week 1. This is number 1. It looks like a committee right now. But number 2, this is also a really tough matchup against a Indianapolis defense, I believe, that was giving up these 6 fewest points to the tight end position last year. So I don't like him this week, but I do think there's potential there season long as he's able to separate himself, which I believe he can. I got more. Yeah, I would go. I love DJ Moore. Oh, I didn't answer Jackson's question there. Will Michael Thomas come back and be a wide receiver 1? I talked about this yesterday. So you have the fantasy doctors and you have the pro football doc. They both expect Michael Thomas to most likely be out another week or so after the minimum of 6 weeks because he's on PUP. They view him both as like coming back week 10. And he's probably not going to be 100% for the rest of the season. But with that being said, as long as he does come back, then yeah, I do think that he's like a borderline top 20 guy for the rest of the season. But obviously, like those guys, the fantasy doctors and the pro football doc, they really know their stuff medically. So I can't speak to that. But as long as he's near 100%, then he should come back and be, I would say a wide receiver 2 is where I would feel comfortable with him at. Hi, Mike, or special? Should I? Is that like a foreign language? I'm sorry. I'm terrible. I'm terrible at like pronouncing things. Okay, if you guys don't realize that, I'm pretty bad. What do you think about Saquon? I think Saquon, as long as he's like fully like as a full go this week, I like Saquon for season long. And if he misses this week, it's no big deal. I do think at some point he'll be a full go, and I love Saquon for the season. Should I start AB or Chenault at my flex spot? I would go AB. I have Ridley and Lamb on wide receiver 1 and 2 in a 14-team PPR. Yes, I would go AB. I would go AB this week. I do think this is a really good week to start Antonio Brown. Maestro? What's that mean? I don't know what that means. Is that like friend? I don't know what that means. Marquez Callaway or Devontae Parker? Marquez Callaway for me. I talked about Marquez Callaway, and there's one thing that does have me concerned, but regardless, I would still start Marquez Callaway over Devontae Parker, regardless of this concern. But the one concern is, do they actually shadow Callaway with Jair Alexander? I don't think that they do, personally. But that is one thing that's a little bit concerning. But I still think that Marquez Callaway is going to be solid. A distinguished musician, especially a conductor of classical music. I do conduct classical music. It's like master in Italian. Oh, Italian. Okay. I should know that because I am Italian. But master, I'm not a master. I'm a apprentice. There we go. Still learning the ropes here. I have Eckler, but I think I'm going to sit him because the hamstring. Have to move Gaskin RB2. Would you like for flex Devontae Smith or Landry? No, I would go Devontae Smith. I do think I have Devontae Smith as a borderline top 30 play for me this week at wide receiver. He might be a top 30 play. Let me see. No, he's 32 right now in my rankings. I like Devontae Smith a lot this upcoming week. So I would go him. I do like Landry, though, for season long. But this upcoming week, I do like Devontae Smith. Thank you, my friend. Like your channel with the best for you. Hey, I appreciate you coming in and stopping by, asking your questions. I appreciate all of your guys' support. Real quick, if you haven't already, do me a big favor and click that like button. Give me a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate you. So let's see here. We have, I'm starting Russ over Dak, but it's stressing me out. No, I think that's a good, I would do that personally. Okay, I want to say this real quick. Because this is when, I try to give the best fantasy advice, right? Okay, but we also have to remember that fantasy is for fun, right? And there was somebody that asked me a question a while ago, like last week or something, and I gave them my answer, and then they were kind of like, oh, but I really want to start Ronald Jones because I want to be able to have something like a stake in the Thursday night game and actually want to be able to watch it. So I will say that, like, guys, yes, you want to win every single week, but at some point, though, you also want it to be fun. Like, it needs to be fun. We play this game for fun. You play it for the money, of course. You play it for the fame if there's a trophy. But at the end of the day, you also play it because it's really fun. Football is really fun. Football is the best sport to watch, in my opinion. So if you ever come across a guy that there's two guys that you do like and you're not quite sure, but one of them plays on a Thursday night or one of them plays on a Monday night, and you want to just be able to watch that game and enjoy watching your fantasy player in that game, absolutely, like 100% do that. Like that's what makes this game fun, is that you get to sit there and watch your fantasy guy. Now, if he doesn't have a good game, it's obviously not that fun. But if he goes out there and balls out and you get to watch it happening, that's the best. So I will always say that, like, yeah, you want to be able to optimize your lineup as best as possible. But if that situation ever comes up, like, go with the guy that you want to watch. Like, at the end of the day, that's how I feel. So let me see here. Let me catch up. But I would start Russ over Dak personally. I wouldn't be that stressed about it because I do think that Dak, it's going to be close. I think I have Dak as like 10, and I have Russell Wilson as 8 this upcoming week, so it's close. We all feel like TJ Watt should be played. He should be paid. Pick up Darnold. Hope it works out. There we go. Revenge game. It's a revenge game. How do you feel about Terence Marshall Jr.? He's fast. Yeah, I do. I like Terence Marshall Jr. It's just like a crowded wide receiver core with a quarterback that hasn't shown us a whole lot. He did play for the Jets, but we need to see. I do think there's a lot to like for Terence Marshall Jr. for sure. But I would still view those other two guys over him. But I do think that there's a chance that Terence Marshall Jr. could be a top 30 wide receiver. I wouldn't say top 30. I would say like more of a wide receiver 4, maybe wide receiver 3, because this offense last year did support it with Teddy Bridgewater. And now you get Sam Darnold in there, who he should be better, you would think, than Teddy Bridgewater. So we'll have to see what happens. But I do think there's a lot of potential there with Terence Marshall Jr. this upcoming season. I don't want to say top 30. That's a bit crazy. Top 40 wide receiver, though, is a bit better. Let me see. Playing the Jets Sunday. Also sitting Josh Jacobs and starting Gus Edwards and Mike Davis. I would do that. Yes, I would do that 100%. At most toast, do you think they won't pay him? They better pay him. Justin Herbert or Stafford week 1, I would go Stafford personally, John. And if I missed over anybody's question, please feel free to ask it again. I try to read these as fast as possible. It's not like it's going very fast, but I talk and then I look at it and I kind of lose my place. So if I ever skip over your question, please feel free to ask it again. Should I start Herbert no matter what? Lawrence and Darnold are available on waivers. I would start Lawrence this week. Herbert has a brutal matchup in Washington, and I just don't like. This is the 1 week that I would definitely sit Justin Herbert. And there was a comment on the YouTube video the other day of, yeah, right, start my 7th round pick. Okay, number 1, if you drafted Justin Herbert in the 7th round, that's a mistake. You shouldn't have drafted Justin Herbert in the 7th round, especially with guys going later like Ryan Tannehill, Jalen Hurts. You shouldn't have drafted Justin Herbert in the 7th round. And also, number 1, this is going to be probably one of the best pass defenses against the pass this upcoming season in Washington. And I'm making the narrative right now. Right now, I'm making this narrative that West Coast teams that have to travel East Coast and play a 1 o'clock game, they do not fare well. I forget what the statistic was. It was like they win 33% of the time or like 31% of the time. So they just don't fare well in those games. And I'm frozen. I keep freezing. Get better internet. Let's see. Yes, go Lawrence and then Gus Edwards, Mike Davis, or Antonio Brown in flex spot. What do you think? I would personally go Gus Edwards. Me personally, I would go Gus Edwards. Bill, who you like tonight? Tampa Bay -8. So I'm personally, I like Tampa Bay. Obviously, I do think that I probably even take the -8. Like I would still take Tampa Bay -8. I think that Tampa Bay really should have their way with Dallas tonight. Honestly, there might be some garbage time for this Dallas offense, but I just think that Tampa Bay is so good. They're so good. The offense is so good. So I think Tampa Bay really beats up on. Here, let's do this. Let's create a poll. I keep forgetting that I can create a poll here. Does Tampa Bay win by 8 or more points? Let's do this. There we go. Did that poll come up? Did that poll not come up? Oh, there it is. Okay. Hey, there we go. We got one person. We got one person that says no. All right, so we have I got to go back here. What do you think about the Packers versus Saints? What is are you asking me just hold on, let me go back real quick, Derek. Let me make sure I got everyone. I had Teddy at first, but didn't think it would work out. Yeah, not week 1. I wouldn't like it. Yeah, I don't like Teddy week 1 for sure. Derek, what do you think? What do you mean? Like the spread or what? Like the over under or what? I mean personally, I think Green Bay wins that game. It is going to be close though, honestly. That game, I do think it's going to be close. So Tyson Williams, Hyde, Justin Jackson, Gallman. So like who to pick up out of those guys? Charlie, is that what you're asking? Like if there's one guy, I'm definitely picking up Tyson Williams. A lot of people think Le'Veon Bell is going to be relevant this year. I'm sorry. If Le'Veon Bell is going to be relevant, I'd be surprised. I'm sorry to say that. Okay, here's my reasoning behind Le'Veon Bell not being relevant. Number 1, they signed him to the practice squad, so they don't have to guarantee a salary. Like, if that's not a vote of confidence, in the possibility of like, I wouldn't say if that's not a vote of confidence. I don't know what is. Like he's being signed to the practice squad, and people will say, well, he has to learn the playbook. Well, they could have signed him to the roster and just kept him inactive, but instead they signed him to the practice squad. That way they could not guarantee his salary. Like maybe I'm looking at it differently, the wrong way, but I just think that Le'Veon Bell is washed. Le'Veon Bell's washed. They really like Tyson Williams, and they've said this all offseason. And another thing that I keep seeing is some people say, "Oh, well, Tyson Williams is an undrafted free agent." Yeah, well, so was Philip Lindsay, who's an undrafted free agent. So was last year James Robinson was an undrafted free agent, and I'm pretty sure isn't Austin Eckler an undrafted free agent. So just because he was undrafted doesn't mean that he's not good. You have players Antonio Brown was a 6th-round draft pick. Tom Brady was a 6th-round draft pick. You have a guy like Ryan Leaf was he first overall? He was in the 1st round. Rashad Perryman was a 1st-round draft pick. You have guys like Tavon Austin was a 1st-round draft pick. Just because a guy was drafted at some point doesn't mean that he lives up to that hype. Like, yeah, your early picks should be better picks, but it doesn't mean that every single time. And guys that are undrafted sometimes are overlooked, especially at the running back position where there's so many running backs, and running backs isn't like a huge commodity as it used to be in the NFL anymore. So I just think that argument's a little bit silly personally. That's my rant for the day. All right, so I got to catch up here real quick. Start David Montgomery versus, no, I would go Gaskin personally, Steven. And if I missed anybody, yeah, I would go Gaskin. I like Tampa Bay minus 8-2. I do like that. I think honestly they're probably going to win by like 10 points. Hoop. Oh, geez, that's Randall Cobb or Ruggs and Flex. Oh, gosh, that's where we're at. JML Sports, there's no one better than that. If I have to go one, I go Ruggs. I currently have him at least ranked. Who would you play as Flex? Gaskin, Elijah Moore, if Crowder doesn't play, or Damian Harris? Personally, I believe I have, honestly, is this PPR? Let me see. Is this PPR? Is this PPR, Benny? Let me know if this is PPR. If it's PPR, I would definitely go Gaskin. If it's standard, I would go Damian Harris. I have Stevenson on my last bench spot. What do you think about him this season? I don't think that Stevenson's really going to be anything unless something happens to Damian Harris. That's the only time I think Stevenson's going to be relevant, personally. And I would say like a guy like Tony Jones, I would rather have over Stevenson. I have $360 riding on what? What, the spread? 4.5 for that game? That's what you have your money. $360. You're crazy. I'm assuming it's Green Bay minus 4.5. I don't know, man. I think that game could honestly be like a 3-point game. How much does his style match in the explosive Ravens offense? I just don't see it. No, yeah, exactly. Dan Arnold, Jack Doyle, or Cook. I would go Jared Cook over those other guys. You don't think Lamar and Russ are going to take all the RB work? I think Lamar is going to have a good year with rushing. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that I'm just saying Tyson Williams because if anything happens to Gus, he's the next guy up. And yes, Le'Veon would still be involved. Certainly at that point, Le'Veon would be relevant in fantasy football. But I still think that he's going to have a role regardless if Gus doesn't even get hurt. I think he's going to have more of a role. I saw somebody on the YouTube comment. I hope that they were kidding, though. They said that they think Le'Veon's going to have 5 receptions a game for this Baltimore offense that doesn't throw to the running back position. And he said that he's going to average 17 points a game and take over the RB1 spot. Like, maybe about 5 years ago, yeah. But now in 2021, absolutely not. That's not happening. You can clip that right there. Let's say, oh, geez. Okay, so it's a 16-team league. All right, so what was the question again? I would go Ruggs. Yes, I would go Ruggs. And, it was Darnold. Yes, I would go JML Sports. I would go Ruggs, and I would go Cook. I'm assuming that's Jared Cook, right? At the tight end. I'm assuming that's Jared Cook. How do you feel about Juju this year? Is he a lost cause, or does he have a lot of potential this year? So, Ozil, and I don't mean to call you out on this, because I've also seen other people say this. Like, what has Juju done throughout his career that shows he's a lost cause? I don't understand. Like, a lot of people have him ranked heading into the season really low, but with Big Ben under center, he's been a top 20 wide receiver every single year of his career with Big Ben. Like, I just don't understand where the hate for Juju, because he has TikTok, sure. Like, you got to be able to separate like the off-field stuff from real-life football. And when it's real-life football, he's one of the better slot receivers in the NFL, especially with Big Ben under center. And that's where he'll play. And in full-point PPR, Juju will be just fine this upcoming season. Even in just PPR standard, not so much, but PPR leagues, yeah, he'll be fine. Need an RB2. Who is this? Steve and Rosie. What's up, Steve? Need an RB2. Options are all kind of below. Moss, Swift, or Michelle. Hey, take that back. Okay, I'm a Deandre Swift fanboy. I love Deandre Swift. I would go Deandre Swift 100%. I truly believe that if DeAndre Swift can be healthy all season long, he can be an absolute league winner. Clip it. Somebody clip that so that at the end of the season, when I'm totally wrong, you can just play it back to me. But if I'm right, I'm going to play it back to you, which I'm going to be right. PPR, thanks, bro. Hey, appreciate you, Benny, being a part of the show. And JML, did I answer your question? I believe so, right? Just let me know in the chat if I answer your question or not. And if I didn't, feel free to ask it again. I believe it was Cook and Ruggs. Those are the two guys that I would go. Let's see here. Flex, we have David Montgomery or DJ Moore, full PPR. From Steven, personally, I would go DJ Moore. I like DJ Moore a lot this upcoming week. That's -5 on Green Bay. Look funny. If Green Bay win, it probably... Wait. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think that it's going to be like a 3-point game, honestly. Like Green Bay... I think New Orleans is kind of like underrated this upcoming season, just because they have Jameis as a quarterback. I like Jameis. I think Jameis is going to be fine. And then he goes out there and throws 4 interceptions week 1. I look like an idiot, but I think he'll be fine. At what point do I put in Mac Jones? I know he has potential. Who are your other quarterbacks, Jonathan? Depends on who your other quarterbacks are. And if this is a 1 quarterback, 2 quarterback super flex league, it depends on what exactly the settings are and who your other options are. What are your top 3 sleepers, sleeper wide receivers that were drafted this year? So my top 3, well, they're kind of not sleepers, but I was talking about them prior to them being sleepers. Okay, you can go back and check all my videos. I was talking about Marquez Callaway early August, I'm saying like August 1st. So my top 3 sleepers were Marquez Callaway, Corey Davis, and Marvin Jones. I was talking about those 3 guys way prior to them looking good in preseason. So, and if you don't want to take my word for it, that's totally fine. But those 3 guys were guys that I was high on. Another guy that I really like a lot is Michael Gallup this upcoming season. I think a lot of people. I also like Jarvis Landry was another guy that I liked a lot. And I'm trying to think maybe one more. I can give you 5. Elijah Moore would be another guy that I like. I just think that the Jets are going to be a lot better this upcoming season, and I just love Elijah Moore's talent for where he was being drafted. So let's see here, like Kenny Galladay, OBJ. So, okay, well, I want to consider those guys sleepers, though. Like, those are top 30 wide receivers. I'm saying more like outside the top, being drafted outside the top 40 at the time, what I would consider a sleeper. Kenny Galladay, if he can stay healthy, should have a decent season, if he can stay healthy. And if OBJ, I do like OBJ this upcoming season. Yeah, it's Jared Cook. Yeah, I would go Jared Cook. Sutton, you're saying a lot of guys that I don't like, to be honest with you, because I'm a Jerry Jeudy fan. Sutton this week, though, I do feel like this is going to be a tough matchup for Sutton. If he sees, which I'm projecting him to see James Bradberry shadow coverage. Jerry Jeudy could certainly see the shadow coverage from James Bradberry, though. It depends on who they view. But it looked like last year James Bradberry was playing more on the bigger wide receiver, and Courtland Sutton's a bigger wide receiver, so I'd imagine he's going to probably play on Courtland Sutton this upcoming week, but I could be wrong. That's why week 1, there's a lot of question marks in week 1. I mean, there's a lot of question marks every single week because it's football, and football is changing every single second. But especially week 1, because you have a lot of these committees that got to work out. You have you start to see who guys shadow and who they don't shadow. Jair Alexander at the beginning of the season was really shadowing a lot of guys. Then towards the end of the season, he wasn't shadowing anybody anymore. So a lot of things that we need to see how they play out during the season. Thanks, bud. I was leaning towards Swift. Yes, Swift is a superb talent. Like he's an amazing talent at the running back position. It's just, can he stay healthy? Devontae Smith or Courtland Sutton and flex, I would go Devontae Smith this upcoming week. Darnold's going to be, who was this? Jonathan, what was the... Oh, okay. Oh, I mean, I would definitely put Mac Jones ahead of Darnold fast. I would give Darnold at least this week in a revenge type game, and Mac Jones does have a tough matchup against Miami, who Miami last year, their secondary is actually really solid. Love this good news about Juju because of the negativity. I was about to get him late in late rounds. Seems like a really promising bench stash. Jeez. Thank you. Yeah, no problem. And I'm a bit biased, but I mean, if you just look at the numbers, though, Juju's been really solid throughout his career with Big Ben under center. The 1 year he had a down year was when Big Ben got hurt, and he was hurt himself. But with Big Ben under center, he's been really solid. He's been a top 20 guy every single year. So, absolutely love Juju. He'll be fine. I do view him more as the wide receiver 3 in this offense, but still, this is going to be an offense that's going to throw the ball plenty. Like everybody thinks they're just going to run the ball nonstop. No, Big Ben won't let that happen. Even at age 49, he's not going to let that happen. I have AB, Chenault, and DJ Moore. What two should I start? I would go AB and DJ Moore, Sins. And I just want to say real quick, thank you to everybody that's hanging out, watching the show. And if you haven't already, if you haven't done it, do me a big favor and give me a thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, you should hit that subscribe button, okay? Hit that subscribe button. We post new content every single day that will help you win your fantasy leagues. Jeez, and that was loud. Pulled it up on my phone. Yeah, I gotta. Jeez, what is going on here? Now my dog's barking. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Got a text message there. Okay, we're good to go. But this is a tough matchup this upcoming week for Mac Jones. But I would say sooner than later, I would probably start Mac Jones over Sam Darnold. Let's see here. Lunch break over. Got to get back to work. Thanks for answering. Hey, thank you for stopping by. Muster. I butcher people's names. I'm sorry. But thanks for stopping by. Number 7, that's what I'm going to call you. Your nickname's going to be number 7. How do you feel about Bryan Edwards? I do like Bryan Edwards. If I have to take my shot, and I talked about this yesterday, if I have to take my shot on one of these guys, either him or Henry Ruggs, personally, I'm taking my shot on Bryan Edwards. I don't like either one of them, to be honest with you. But if I have to take my shot on one of them, it's going to be Bryan Edwards. Stafford or Hurts, I would go Hurts. I do like Stafford this upcoming week, but I really like Hurts. Okay, I have DJ Moore at flex. Looks good, Sins. Looks good. All right. So, I'll go ahead and stay on for a little bit longer here, and then I'm going to hop off. So if you have any more questions, drop them down below. Even if it's some betting DFS that you want to talk, feel free to talk about any of it. I'm down to talk football here. Let's see. Let's ask this question real quick. Can I do another poll, or is that like limited to you can only do one? I don't have the option to do a poll anymore. Can I only do one, or do I have to like end this poll? Can I take it down? Oh, I can. Okay, nice. So I got to end it. Learning all these new tricks on YouTube here, but it still won't let me do. It won't let me do another poll. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it has to end there. All right, so let's see what everybody thinks here. Do the Bucks. Let's see what everybody thinks about this one. Oh, so you can, well, you have yes or no. I wish you could take yes or no out. But you can't. Oh, well. Okay, let's see this. We got another poll incoming. All right, so Noah Fan or TJ Hawkinson. Currently, I have TJ Hawkinson Sins. Harbaugh just saw there's a chance Bell plays this week. Even if he plays, I mean, personally, I'm not big on Le'Veon Bell this upcoming season. I think that he'll obviously like have a little bit of a role in this offense, but not much more than. I don't think he's going to play more than Tyson Williams, personally. No, I don't think so. AB or Brandon Cooks at flex. I have currently AB at flex, Johnny. Travis Kelce or trade Kelce for Taylor and Logan Thomas. Ooh, that's really tough. What are your other running back situations? What I probably would do it just because I'm a big fan of running backs. And me personally, I would have drafted Jonathan Taylor over Travis Kelce. I know that a lot of people love Travis Kelce, but it reminds me of back when Gronk used to be drafted. in the first round, and it would never pay off, and people would next year draft Jimmy Graham in the first round, and that wouldn't pay off. So me personally, I would rather have a running back, a top 10 running back any day of the week over a top tier tight end personally. James Conner or David Montgomery. Personally, I would go David Montgomery. David Montgomery. That's where I draw the line for David Montgomery. He is close to James Conner, I won't lie, but he's still a borderline. I view him as more of a high upside running back 3 this upcoming week. David Montgomery. My running back situation is bad. Yeah, then I would do it. I would do it. And Logan Thomas should be involved this upcoming season. Is he going to have anywhere near the season Kelsey's going to have? Absolutely not. But at least you're getting a guy that's startable every single week. He'll play all the snaps. They move him around in the formation. He'll get targets. Won't be the most efficient kind of stuff, but he'll see volume. So I would do that trade. Personally. So, and if anybody else has any other questions, please feel free. Let's see, what time is it? I'll stay for like, we'll do like 10 more minutes. That sounds good. Well, we'll go about 10 more minutes. Because this is it's week 1. Everybody's excited. They're ready to go. We got football tonight. Oh, look at that poll up there. Everybody's saying yes. Either the Bucs or Casey wins the Super Bowl this season. If you voted no, who do you think wins the Super Bowl? And it's probably going to be like Most Toast, and he's going to say something stupid like the Steelers. But if you don't think one of these teams are going to win the Super Bowl, who do you think wins? Let me ask you this question, actually. Let me ask you a different question. Who is a dark horse to win the Super Bowl this upcoming season? Let me know. Let me know who's your dark horse to win the Super Bowl. David Montgomery's playing LA, so I didn't know how to treat that. Yeah, no, that's a tough question. I view him more as a upside RB3, honestly. I don't like him as an RB2. I think that they're going to get absolutely shut down. And I think this is kind of a setup game where Matt Nagy's really hoping they play bad so that next week Justin Fields can start. That's how I feel about this situation. I got Jamar Chase, but worried about how many mouths to feed in the Bengals offense. Here's another bench stash for me, but do you think he will take wide receiver down this season, or is he learning season for him? No, I don't view him. I view T. Higgins as wide receiver 1. I've viewed him as wide receiver 1 really the whole offseason. And really, we haven't seen anything. We've just heard about how good Jamar Chase has been in practice. But in the games, in preseason, and yes, it's preseason, he has not looked good. So, me personally, I like T. Higgins more this upcoming season. But if right now Jamar Chase is really going, at least in the drafts that I did, I really haven't done a draft in about a week. I did all my drafts really. But where he was going at that point was pretty solid. So I would take Jamar Chase like later. Like I got him in the 7th round or something, which I'm fine getting him there for sure. Let's see, Bengals offense, standard scoring, Jonathan Taylor at RB, need advice on second running back. We have Harris, Gaskin, Montgomery. Okay, so you need a running back and a flex. So I would go, this is standard. So I would go Harris. And is this Damian Harris? I'm assuming it's Damian Harris. Regardless of who it is, I would go Damian Harris and Higgins. I would go Damian Harris and Higgins. Cardinals are a dark horse for me. Yeah. No, I would say I don't think they're going to. I would say a team that I think is a dark horse is the Pittsburgh Steelers. No, I would say like a dark horse. I don't know if they're really dark horses. I don't know what it exactly qualifies as a dark horse, but I would say a team like the Browns or a team like the LA Rams. I do think, I don't know what it is now, but kind of going with you, Ozzy, geez. I look like an L on my computer. I'm sorry for that. So Ozzy, I would say one guy that I do like for season long for a bet would be Kyler Murray. I do like his prop bet to win, MVP. I do think that there's a shot that Kyler Murray could win MVP. Last year, if he didn't get hurt, I do think that there is a real shot at him having a chance to be an MVP. And I think that this upcoming season, they improved the offensive line. They added AJ Green to whatever. But they have Rondell Moore, will be solid. BC. What's BC? Who's BC? Or is that because? Rams, my dark horse. That was another team. I would say Rams for sure would be a really good dark horse team. And I don't know if that qualifies as a dark horse. That's why I was like, them or the Browns, but I feel like a lot of people kind of think that already. So I don't know if that really qualifies as a dark horse. A team that maybe nobody is really thinking about, that could win though, would be a team like, once again, the Pittsburgh Steelers. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know who I would really qualify as a true dark horse, like a really bottom half team that could possibly win. I said like Miami, but I don't think Miami could do it. How do you think the Bucs D will perform tonight? I think that they'll be fine. I don't expect Dallas to be able to run the ball, so that's just going to make this Dallas offense one-dimensional. And when you're one-dimensional, it's easier for these pass rushers, which the Bucs have really good pass rushers, to get to the quarterback. So I think that they should get a couple of sacks, maybe get a couple turnovers in this game. I think the Bucs defense will be solid tonight, even though Dallas could have some garbage time yardage and touchdowns, but I still think the Dallas defense will be good. Saquon or Laviscus, full PPR, and Harris or Mike Davis, I would go Saquon. And is this, regardless who it is, I would go Harris, even if it's Damian. Well, if it's full point PPR, I would go Mike Davis. Unless it's Najee Harris, then I'm definitely going Najee Harris in that situation. I didn't mean to type BC. Okay. I wasn't sure if there's a team that I was missing the abbreviation for, like, okay, maybe BC could be that team, but I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't think there's a team that could be BC. Really, what first team that came to mind was Boston College. Thanks for answering my questions. I'll see you tonight and Sunday. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with the live stream, Seth, and I appreciate all of you hanging out with the live stream. I'm going to stay on for 4 more minutes. I'm going to get off here. So, 4 more minutes, and we have the dark horse situation. So, real quick, I want to ask you guys another question. Who's a dark horse that you think could be wide receiver 1, the number 1 wide receiver overall in fantasy football this upcoming season? Who do you think it is? And I want a guy that's outside the top 10. Okay, you can't say Calvin Ridley because I feel like that's one that's pretty easy. So a guy that was drafted outside the top 10. And if it's like borderline, like 9, 10, that's fine. Who do you think it is? Colts, possible dark horse. That's not bad. Like in defense, Wentz just needs to be solid. Doesn't have to be an MVP candidate. Yeah, no, that's good. And the good thing with the Colts too is that number 1, they play in a dome, so that they probably won't have like home field advantage or anything like that. But even if they have to go and play in, like, say, Kansas City, they have a good defense, like you said, and then also they're probably going to have one of the top rushing offenses in the NFL. So that's one way you try to take down Kansas City. Is last year what the Bucs did, is just absolutely get to them with your pass rush and disrupt everything, but also control the clock and try to control the game with your running game. Probably not number 1, but Shenault will be up there. Man, you like Shenault, huh? T. Higgins. Me personally, I just don't like. I can't buy into Shenault. That's just me. It's just me. And there's always players that, you like, other people don't like, or that you don't like and other people like. I'm sure for me, a guy that a lot of people don't really like is DeAndre Swift, and I absolutely love DeAndre Swift this upcoming season. But for me, I look at Marvin Jones and I view him as the wide receiver 1 there, and I do think that I think Shenault will be solid this upcoming season because he's a guy that they just want to get the ball in the hands of. I view him as kind of like a Deebo Samuel, where they just want to get him in space and let him do his thing and also give him some rushing attempts and that kind of stuff. So I do like Shenault. T. Higgins, that's not bad. T. Higgins, not bad, especially if Joe Burrow will be fine the entire season. Would Justin Jefferson be considered? I'd say no because he was drafted 7, but that's a guy I'll give it to you. All right, it's close, but he's being drafted as probably like wide receiver 8. I'd say right around there. Deontay Johnson, hey, that's what I'm saying, baby. Represent. I do think Deontay Johnson could be a top 10 wide receiver though. Keenan Allen, that's solid. Honestly, that's pretty good. Not week 1. He does have a decent matchup in the slot. Hear me out. Callaway. Hey. Callaway, you know me. I love Callaway. After that game, I got on, did a reaction, and I was like, man, he could be a top 30 wide receiver. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, there's some other guys I'd rather take him. But I still love Callaway. I do love Marquez Callaway this upcoming season. Robert Woods, Yeah. I don't know if he could be 1, but he could certainly be inside the top 10 100% this upcoming season. Him and Cooper Kupp. I love both those guys this upcoming weekend though. All right. So one last minute. Any other last minute questions? Go ahead and ask them. Feel free. And if you have any other, or if you haven't already, do me a big favor. Smash that like button for me. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Where the hell you at? No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, where are you at if you're not subscribed? Possibly over at the Fantasy Flock. Who are you guys? Real quick, I'm going to ask this last question. Who's a guy that you guys like fantasy advice wise, maybe that you watch on YouTube? So obviously other than Aspire Sports, because we're the best. No, but a guy like Fantasy Flock, do you guys watch him? Or maybe like Nick Urca, how do you say his last name? Urcolano? Is that how he says his last name? Who do you guys watch on fantasy other than... Oh, that's Summer. What's up, Summer? MVP tonight? Okay, hear me out. A lot of people say Antonio Brown. Me personally, MVP tonight is going to be the guy... I got to double check this. Come back and ask tonight. But I'm going to say my MVP is going to be Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin for my MVP tonight. I think Chris Godwin's going to have himself a really good game. Fantasy headliners, and yeah, Big Dog's gonna eat. I do like Fantasy Pros. Yeah, I mean, I know he'll never see this, but I hope Mike Tagliere is doing okay, because he was really battling with COVID, and well, still is. He's been in the hospital on a ventilator now for a while, and that was really, I remember, really, he was a big reason why I wanted to do this. Honestly, like because I liked everything that Tags brought. Every offseason I would listen to Tags. There was 2 guys I'd always listen to. Tags was one of them, and then the other one was Jeff Radcliffe. I love listening to those 2 guys. Those were like my favorite guys. So I really hope that, you know, Tags is able to beat COVID and get to come home, and apparently he's doing better than what he was doing before. So wish you nothing but the best of luck, Tags. I hope you a speedy recovery. Fantasy football advice and Andrew Kirchhoff. I didn't even know about him, and that dude does a really good job. They honestly all do a really good job. I do like Nick though a lot. Big Dog's gonna eat. I think Nick's really. I like him because he just speaks his mind. That's what I like about Nick. So, with that being said, I will have my MVP tonight. I will have all my DFS stuff ready. I will have my player prop bets that I really like heading in tonight. All that will be finalized before the live stream tonight, and also will my rankings, which you can find over on our Patreon. It's only for $1. Gotta always plug that. And also one other thing, we'll have Bet USA. Link down below. You can go over to www.aspiresportsshow. They offer a crazy offer right now, and their casino is really good. I'm on their sports book might need a little bit of work, but it's getting there. And honestly, if you haven't already, go over there, use our code, and get yourself a nice sign-up bonus. So it's always great to play with free money, isn't it? And if you haven't signed up for them, you get some free money. Who doesn't like free money? You win some money tonight, you get free money, you take out the money you put in, and now you play with house money for the rest of the football season. So with that being said, appreciate all of you for hanging out, stopping by the show. It's been fun. We'll see you tonight. Good luck. Have a great day. Have a great rest of your day, people. Bye. Bye.